everybody. This is BisuDagger. Along with me is XKCD, and we are ready to cast this KSL.
Hello there. Oh my goodness, they even got more people in the studios. How is this possible?
Well,
Yo, there's even more people cramped in the back.
yes, you would imagine that all of Korea would be here by now, but apparently they're taking their time.
But don't worry, they'll get bigger studios for next week.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see the finals venue. So, I'm wondering what the schedule format will be after this. If they're gonna just start the games to continue the round of 8 next weekend, or if there's gonna be some sort of pause in the games before they continue.
They do have next weekend for tiebreakers.
Oh, is
So
that what it's for? I didn't know if tiebreakers were gonna happen tomorrow
tiebreakers
after
next
Sunday's
weekend.
matches.
No, we still have 2 more matches. I think we have right now matches for today, and we got the Sunday matches. Then next weekend is like basically tiebreakers / break before round of 8, if I recall.
Okay, well, if no one has to play in tiebreakers, then that should give them a weekend off to prepare for the round of 8.
Yeah, it does. And gives me time to watch MLG. Because it's a $50,000 Counter-Strike Invitational.
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited for that since. Oh boy.
So let's see here. I am bringing up the Wikipedia page so we can get all the information. And I apologize, guys. My stream is looking a little weird. I'll give it a refresh if you guys are watching now to make sure we can be on the same stream time as XKCD. And it's 5 a.m., so just give us a moment. I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm working on it right now, and we'll be wide awake once the games happen, of course. Much more favorable times if you live in the Asian part of the world right now. So today, we have Bisu versus Quanro. How about that?
Quadro! This is actually going to be a tough one for both players. Quadro is capable of bringing BC down with the excellent 3-hatch Hydra build, as always. That's
Oh
like
yeah,
BC's
and he went ahead and did that last game too against against Rock.
Yeah, he did 3-hatch Hydra bust as well. So we know that Quadro definitely can choose. He's very good at it.
Right, we know it's gonna come hard. We know that that Bisu is gonna have to play very defensive in this game early on, but I don't know. It could be the surprise of the night, and it would make things really interesting.
Yeah.
If Quanro came out of his group in first, you know, how is that going to affect things later in the tournament? But pretty much, Bisu and Quanro have the group locked up. So there's really no point in the last game being played. I guess battle for last between Rock and Busan.
But you still have to do it for like rankings, you know. If Kongdoo ever wants to have like a yellow ranking, you know, something like that.
Of course. So then Group B is kind of in the same situation. So today is a very important day. I feel like today's way more important than tomorrow. And
no, this is probably the most important day. This is the most important day of the entire round of 16.
Absolutely.
Because basically, what we're going to see today is who's going to tiebreakers and who's going to advance with the guaranteed advancement.
Right.
A lot of these players are actually in a very precarious scenario where they basically have to win to either stay alive or to stay ahead. Especially for the other groups.
Yeah. So we do have Mind and Killer playing in, as a battle for who's going to come out first and second, because they're at the top of their group.
Right.
And then Group C and D are the tie-breaking groups, and they're the ones that are going to be absolutely crazy, because there's actually chances for Jaehoon and C to also get into the tiebreaker for second place, even though they're down 0-2, which is absolutely wild.
Right. So for that to happen, Haya would need to. Yeah, so Haya would have to lose.
Haya has to win And,
to get out.
and then tomorrow, Jaehoon has to win in Group C. And then in Group D, C will have to defeat Mong, and Free will have to lose to Piano. That will put them in the loser's tiebreaker. But there's also a possibility for a winner's tiebreaker in this, too.
Well, I don't think we're going to be anywhere tiebreaker. We could use the head-to-head record.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only going to be like one guy with 3-0. Or at least for, well, like if Zero wins today, then obviously it's Group C. It can be quite interesting because any of the other 3 players can get out now.
And La Mancha's a weird map. So
It
Kaya
is.
versus Zero and C versus Monk today, they'll both be playing on that map. And
It's actually one of my favorite maps, so I always enjoy watching games on it.
absolutely.
I've yet to see like a really bad game on La Mancha because I think the way the map design is very allows for quite good play.
Right. And you know what? And even in the TLS, there was a lot of really fun foreign games.
Oh yeah, there was
during that tournament, and so I was really glad that was one of the maps they incorporated. And hopefully we get to see the grand finale of the Team Liquid Legacy Star League this year. I think we're all kind of looking forward to that coming back to life after this little hiatus.
Yeah. And then what I think what's going to happen today for the matches, we're going to go backwards again because everyone's going to want to have BC play last. Like always. It seems like whenever BC's playing, he's going to play last, so it's probably going to be groups D, then C, then B, then A.
You know, they gave the excuse that they're doing that because of his computer setup for playing the games. But really, don't you think it's a business decision that you save the best player, the most popular player for last to keep the viewers in?
Yeah, I could see them using that angle.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, this is all advertising, right? They're putting on the Star League, they're advertising their talent, which is basically StarCraft players, and they have them already working in commercials and product placements, right?
Exactly.
Wow, Bisu's playing first! What's this?
Well, there we go. I guess they're switching it up one more time. And guys, I don't know if you're in the chat room. I haven't opened up the chat room yet, so let me get that open just in case you guys we're having technical difficulties. I guess we need to keep an eye on that. So, be patient.
Oh my, wow, okay. I was not expecting this. Music for the Quantum Circuit Breaker. Ooh, the last ZVP we had on here was Killer vs. Movie, and that was an extremely exciting game. Where Movie tried to go for a 2-base timing attack, and Killer barely managed to win out with his meters. We loses.
Yeah, but I think Circuit Breaker. Well, the last time I said something about Circuit Breaker, it was that C was really good on Circuit Breaker, and then he lost to Free. He just got stomped. But this is one of the maps where Bisu has a ton of games, but those are mainly PvP against C. So I know he's got tons of practice on this map, and he should be good for it. But it may be difficult because it's a 4-player map, and it's pretty large. And that could play to some of the advantage of Quanro if he's trying to hide his build early on. You know, trying to get away with cutting drones or going for an aggressive early on build. As long as he's able to scout Bisu out with his Overlord in time too.
Right. But at the meantime, it gives Bisu a lot of time to prepare for it if he does see it coming because it's such a large map. Like if Bisu sees the early Zerglin Rusher or say early Hydra attack, he's going to have enough time to put the cannons up and SimCity up for that.
Right.
So looks like got a little nice screen shot. I don't know who that guy is. Apparently, someone people know.
Yeah, kind of an important looking dude wearing a giant ass jacket. I don't think they use the heat in the studio.
They gotta save money, man.
Absolutely.
Energy is expensive, you know.
Alright guys, don't freak out. I'm going to do a quick refresh on my stream so that way I make sure we're all synced up and ready to go. Just a minute here. It'll be ready to look beautiful. There we go.
Apparently that was Coach Ha? Teddy Bear? Coach Teddy Bear?
For which team?
Remember NBC Hero? They used to have that fat coach? Coach Ha?
Okay.
Have you ever seen the Korean show Who Jin Becomes a Pro Gamer?
No, I didn't really watch that one.
Oh, you should watch it. It's really funny with the coach in there. Who Jin would like prank Coach Ha with a chair, and then Coach Ha got really mad about it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's Coach Ha, man. That's BisuDagger's old coach back in the day.
Yeah, seriously.
Coming to watch. He's coming to watch BisuDagger and C play.
Yeah, he's coming to probably curse BisuDagger for going to SKT and leaving him.
Or maybe coming in to start his own team again. You know, get the first
Right.
official BisuDagger team.
Well, that would be cool too. Do you remember? Do you remember back in the day there was one TV show I did watch, and it was where pro gamers would challenge each other in weird locations. And so they brought like gamer booths into like a shipyard, and then they played each other 1v1 in a shipyard.
No, I've never recalled. I never heard about that.
Oh my god, it was wild. The whole purpose of the game is that they would take forklift these player booths to weird locations and then just have them play each other there. And like Boxer versus Yellow would play each other and they would smack talk the whole time. It was awesome. So it looks like you do have the two players here. That is going to be BisuDagger versus Quanro, and we're getting ready to go right into these matches. And I think those were there were no Star Girls. Were those guys inside the booth that were supporting the players?
I think those are the referees.
Okay.
Maybe the Star Girls came too late. Had to get the coffee from Starbucks.
That's right. I wonder what they're getting into. Having a little Stargirl party, sleepover, pill fight, something. But it looks like the countdown has begun. Guys, this is the round of 16, day 5 of the Kongdoo Star League. I am BisuDagger. Along with me is XKCD. And I'm sure once this screen goes away, because we disconnected just a minute here, we'll be able to see the game.
It looks like... Alright, we're live back again, so cross spawns, alright. Juan was going to be the green Zerg in the bottom left, and then we had BisuDagger as the red Protoss in the top right. So if anything, this is actually going to favor BisuDagger in the long run. Could any of like Quanro's early rushes or early aggressive build that he wants to use going to be soft countered by the distance, basically. And plus Quanro's scouting is going to be quite late.
Right.
Yeah.
So far, as far as the spawns go, good for BisuDagger. I really think that Quanro at least is going to take his expansion. I don't think he's going to be that cheesy. He's got to realize that the map size is a disadvantage and have to play a little bit standard here. Although I'm wondering how fast he's going to get speed. I feel like that's going to determine how aggressive he's going to be. Because sometimes I really like, instead of just the standard 3-hatch type build against a Protoss player, is that fast Zergling, like the heavy larva into Zergling, along with a few Hydras in the back, where you kind of pick off the Forge and then let your Lings run in.
Right.
Sometimes that's more of an aggressive cheese.
Yeah, so it looks like I think Quanro just built a spawning pool in his main base. I can see the minimap correctly, and it looks like BC is going to put down. I believe that was the Forge. Right? I didn't catch that correctly. Yeah, so you can put the Forge down. Both standard for both players. Come on, get onto Quanro's base and see what else he got there. So it looks like it's going to be a standard delivery pool from Quanro, sending out his drone to expand. Oh, BisuDagger, block it! Oh my goodness. Quanro's going to get away with this for free.
Alright, people on stream, don't freak out. I'm switching over to the Africa stream.
Man, that makes me really salty. BisuDagger could have blocked the drone if he saw it coming. Like, he had a faster reaction. It looks like BC is going to react with a Forge into fast Nexus without the cannon. Which is actually pretty safe for him. Because because you still have the cannon by the time the spawning pool pops in into it.
Right.
So the first two Zerglings are out. Just going to be chasing. Actually, no, they're not chasing the probe. Looks like Quando's going to try to force BSU to play safe with his SimCity at the natural. Meanwhile, Quando's going to take his third at the bottom right, natural. I like the harassment that BSU's doing, making use of that probe while it's still there. So have you got your stream back?
I'm getting there. I'm working on it, guys. I'm sorry. Let me make it look a little bit more normal for you people. I should have done this earlier, guys. I woke up like 10 minutes ago. It's okay. We'll be all right. It just happens to have to happen during the BC game, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. Now that looks excellent. Oh, and now the stream goes offline. Oh my God, what is wrong with today?
It's just not the day for Brood War, man. Just
is it
not
offline for you too?
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow, guys, we are getting DDoSed by the Chinese community, saying we should be watching the COSL right now instead of the KSL that we are watching here.
So actually...
Oh, now it's all stretched out weird, too. Oh, my goodness. Look, there's a lot of lings. I can see a lot of lings, guys.
Yeah, so basically the lings are... first Zealot's already out, halfway across the map. Lings are just chasing the probe. It should see the Zealot, hopefully. Oh, wow, the Zealot gets completely past the link. Zealot's going to come into the natural completely open.
I've not seen any of this.
You're not? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, just watch the Hungary upstream. So it looks like first Zealot's in the natural line of Quandro's natural. Quandro trying to drone drill. BC already got one drone kill. Quandro lost 4 lings at his at BC's natural, trying to push in with Zerg. It didn't work. Wow. Quandro's going to build a spire in his natural mineral line. Alright, so the first Zealot is finally now done for BC. And it looks like BC is going to be getting the +1 air weapons and as well as the +1 ground weapons. So we're going to be looking to see quite an aggressive early mid-game attack from BC. So meanwhile, looks like Quandro's going to send the rest of his links across the map again. It's going to intercept the probes, which should kill the probes because it has speed links. And it does kill the probes. Okay, so first Corsair is out for now. Corsair is going to find a random overlord, the natural. Wow, look at this! Quandro gets 4 links into BC's main!
And what does this remind you of? It reminds you exactly of the situation that Larva put BC in with this.
Wow, Quandro's one thing going! He just made links across the map!
What did I say? I called it with the links here. And this is going to be an absolute disaster for BC. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to control this game anymore. His Zealot is about to go down. He needed to commit more probes to defending and blocking that hole that the lings are coming inside of right now. Another canceled cannon, and this is actually really terrible for BC.
It's just terrible. Because Quandro can just keep streaming across the map, and at the end of this, no matter how many Zerglings Quandro loses, BC's going to keep losing probes. And BC's already wasting money and energy on the upgrade that you can't use, like making +1 air weapons. Cancel it at least.
Now he does have a gateway in the back, so with 2 gateways, he should be able to normalize this if he plays his cards right. He's got to bring these probes down and try and prevent them from coming into the main and drill correctly. I think that was a really bad move. He shouldn't have spread his probes out like that because now they're individually able to get targeted and put himself in a bad position. He's going to lose way too many of them, and the Zealots aren't going to come out. So this looks like Quandro will probably end up taking this group with a 3-0 win.
It's happening. Can you believe this?
Well, my goodness. I absolutely can. I expected this to come from Quandro, no doubt. And the relevance of BC losing right here, it's not great because both of them are pretty much guaranteed to win this. But still, he should have played more defensive and walled off better at the front of his natural here.
Well, actually, what's making me interested in that Quandro's going for the economic kill of the probe. I thought he'd just play it safe and at least get the Nexus at the natural down. And BC should have saw this coming because he had the probe life for such a long time, and Quantum always had a completely low germ count, like right until the Spire popped down. So it was kind of eminent that there was a Zergling attack coming in. It looks like BC has like what 6 probes at most, only.
Right.
I mean, he has 5 zealots, but I mean, you can't keep producing forever. It looks like BC's going to know this. He's just going to tap out.
Aw, GG. Bisu loses game, but that's okay. You know.
I mean, at the end of it, both players are going to advance, but just give Quantum the favorable matchups for the round of 8. So props to both players for playing well in their groups. I guess the game prediction was right because the Team Liquid poll said Quantum would win this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's Quando's laughing his ass off right now, and for a good reason. He knows that he just came in with a BS build, and
like
I just can't believe I called it, saying that he was going to go for Lings instead of Hydras. So,
I mean, Link would be the better choice to just do cross bonds.
Right. With the further distance and the speed upgrade you get early on, really extremely fast unit. What else could you expect?
Alright, look at your Skype chat. Have that up in your stream.
Okay. Which Skype chat am I looking at here? Oh. We're bringing this up. Yeah, the cornrow flowchart, guys.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know Quanro, back in the old Casper Pro Gaming days, there was a flowchart made after him. He would always cheat every game. And it looks like we're just going to go through the flowchart right now if you want to follow along with me. So we have start. Let
me keep it on the screen real quick. Let me see if I can get it to fit. All this resizing here. Yeah, we can look at the Quanro flowchart now. It looks a little small, but it should be okay. Or a little big.
So we're just going to follow this flowchart and then we're going to explain what's happening.
Okay, first Quanro starts. Can I make Zerglings yet? No. This game sucks.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to my opponent. He fast expanded. AV plays close. No. Plays standard. Alright, so let's play Quanro, play standard. And then looks like we went back to my opponent. He's playing standard. Because Beast was doing the standard Zealot poke, right? And then it's the standard +1 weapons, air, ground weapon attack. And if Beast is close, no. So we're going all in with Zerglings.
Right.
And then, is the game over? Yes. Did we learn anything? No. Yes. And we didn't learn anything at all.
Well, that's the flowchart. That's exactly how it worked for Bisu's game. He was not close, went to all in. That's pretty much how it goes.
And we didn't learn anything at all. So, looks like we're having mic problems this evening because I have the new mic now.
What the heck is going on over there? you playing the drums on your microphone?
No. Am I?
Sounds like you have something crawling inside your microphone.
Yeah, so let me adjust the microphone farther away from my mouth. Is that better? So it looks like Quanro's having an interview right now with the Star Girl.
Someone is complaining about their ears because of the scratching noise.
Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I fixed it. It's better now. I had my earbud cords dangling over the mouse. I'm such a messy person. So this should be all better for now.
It is still going wild.
Is it really? Oh. I wonder what I can do to fix it.
You were good for a while. I don't know what changed. But we gotta
it all
change
changed from the
volume. Let's see. I'm guessing I'm the extremely loud one, so I'm gonna bring my volume down here.
It's probably the safer option.
Yeah, someone says sounds like you keep rubbing the cord on the mic. You should get the Snowball Ice, the microphone that I cast with. It was only $35 or something.
Really?
Yeah. I was able to get it for like a really good deal. I match priced at Best Buy too, so I didn't have to order it online.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always in need of a good microphone. Donate to my my Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, my Google Wallet. Get a better microphone for me. I'm plugged in.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're probably going to go into commercial break here.
Apparently I'm the quiet one.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like too much lag, so actually, want to switch over to the Hungry Up stream? And then
Oh, I did. I'm already on the Hungry App stream. That's what I was doing during the middle of the B2 game.
Okay, so I'm just going to watch that one for now, just use the snipe watch for chat. Apparently we're just having too much lag. Yeah. So, I mean, what else can we say about that game, man? It was just a classic Quanro game, man. And Bisu is always very susceptible to cheese. If you want to beat Bisu, the best way to beat him is to cheese him. Because he always liked to play greedy. Very greedy.
Right. Well, people have always known that, like, how Bisu is going to play towards them. And
Right.
he even admitted it in the past that if he thinks he's better than his opponent, then he's going to play a certain standard style against them. And someone's saying, oh, okay, Ericlea. Wow, that's a weird way to make a name. Okay, tell everyone to open the Hungry App stream because they will get more views and more money. Well, okay, you guys heard it. Open up that stream, but don't forget to open up the Snipe-A-Lot stream at the same time.
At least
have both of them open and support both streams. How about that?
Yeah, support Snipe-A-Lot. Support Snipe-A-Lot. I always take donations for the server. No cost. Generally speaking, like it's always been like kind of a problem for during peak hours of Korea. Right now we're casting kind of like during peak hours.
Right.
It's just because of the internet congestion with the traffic. Like if you like watch Snipe-A-Lot during like the lean hours, like the 5 a.m. in Korea, it's not that bad. So now that we're
in commercials or whatever this
in
is.
commercial advertisements. So I'm going to go get some water. So I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, this is BisuDagger on the microphone. My co-caster is XKCD, and he's taking a little break, as we generally do during these commercial times. And it is really cool for you guys to be listening to the cast. I really apologize if you watched my stream, but sometimes the best way to listen to me is to watch the primary stream and then have me in the background with the noise, so you can get that English cast. But the video should be a little bit better now. The audio seems like we figured it out during the break. Takes a little while because, you know what, you guys, you don't join my stream really early, so we don't have this time for you to drop comments in and tell us what the sound is like. So that means you should probably wake up earlier, like I do, and join in right away so we can figure out all the audio problems before the first game. Though I won't blame you guys for taking your time. Alright, so Bisu did not win Master Soul. He did not. Quanro was the one who won that game. The Zerglings just were too strong for the mightiness of Bisu.
Alright, I am now back. It looks like I missed anything, so it's all good.
No, someone's just wondering if Bisu won, and I'm informing them of his tragic loss that does absolutely nothing to the whole of the tournament. Otherwise, I would be crying and probably not casting the rest of this tournament.
Nah, don't worry. There's a reason why Bisu got to pick his groups, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing this is strategy. There's a reason why he lost, but we won't know until the end of the round of 16. So I'm excited for the rest of the day, to be honest, because we're gonna have 2 TVZs,
The best matchup.
which is absolutely awesome, and then we're gonna close out with a TVT. And so far, we've had some really lackluster TVTs.
Right.
I think this third one will actually be a decent one.
It's gonna be on La Mancha, so that's probably the best map for TBT, anyways. Because you know, like almost what's gonna happen is you're always gonna have a split map for TBT. That's where all the fun starts to happen. Due to the nature of tanks.
Right.
So it looks like the next match is going to be, I think, Killer versus Mind and Demayan. We already had one ZVT there with Haya versus Hero, in which Haya forgets that 2 turrets does not work well against 12 middles. And then they would just basically jump over Haya's base while Haya just had like 3 groups of Marines and medics sitting outside of Hero's Natural. So that was kind of a little bit of a sloppy game from Haya. Looks like, I hope that he shaped it up for when he plays 0. But it's not the Haya game to talk about. Mind versus Killer. Both players absolute monsters in those matchups. Especially with Mind having strong TVZ as well. And also for Killer.
Really well lately, and he's a super well-rounded Terran right now. He might be the most well-rounded Terran.
He's solid
in the world right now.
Right, he doesn't really have any like bad matchups, any like bad weaknesses. Like just a solid Terran, standard.
Right. I think he is looking the scariest, and has the potential to win both leagues. To be honest, and that's a pretty insane statement to say. To have a player that's looking so dominant right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Killer, on the other hand, he wiped the floor with 2013 accomplishments. Only C did better than him because C was able to get all the gold. But Killer was the silver monster in 2013, and then 2014 posted some pretty good results too. Just hasn't had any very successful runs in the past couple months. So it's kind of been sad to see him not in his J-Dong level form as of late.
Right. But I think it just has to do with Killer's mentality. Like, he needs to fix his, attitude toward the game if he wants to get really super serious again. It seems like he's still not taking the game as serious as he could be, the way that Mind started taking the game very seriously now.
Right.
So, we're just watching Hearthstone advertisements, so looks like hopefully we'll be probably getting back in the game. So, if anything, what's probably going to happen in this game is we're going to go to late game. And I actually would like to see Mech Mind transition to Mech, because it's actually a very favorable map for Terran Mech to play, and I'd like to see what Killer's reaction is going to be.
Mech would be absolutely awesome. You bring up a good point for viewers too. Seeing Mech on Demian would be so cool. And since we saw a bio opening PVZ or TVZ, and the last game that we saw with Haya, I definitely think it would be really, really fun to see how Goliaths are going to play out here if Killer decides to go for Mutas.
Because remember, the main base is actually quite open, so it's really easy for Mutas to run around and like dodge in and out of. It's kind of like if we compare it to the map Destination, to how the main base is laid out. It's safer to go back because you could have the Goliaths, which are better at defending versus range turrets.
Right. I think the only way that Mind should go for a bio style build is if he can if he opens up and pretends that he's going for a CC or an expansion build, but instead goes for 5 racks behind it and goes for a really aggressive bio push. If he can hide that, but the problem is you really can't hide your build. The Overlord's going to be able to see the main base because of the way it's positioned. A lot of maps in current pro games that the main is kind of harder to get to. You can defend it a little bit. You can put Marines in certain locations, but I think there's just too many different directions you can actually scout out the main to see what the opponent is doing.
Right, and then another thing to note is that, well, that is true. You can't really even hide 5 rats because if you go, let's say, 3 hatches before Blair as a Zerg player, the standard response for Terran is to go 5 rack anyway. So if you're like a Zerg player and you're going to go with a standard 3 hatch, it's either going to be a 2 racks, two barracks build for the timing attack right before your newest pop,
Right.
which is easy to scout, or it's going to be the 5 racks build, which is the standard response anyways. So killers should have the preparation for that anyways, depends on what they want to do. Although killers would kind of the player that actually would go 2 hatch on this map as well, so that's kind of defending the 3rd is going to be a little bit awkward due to the map layout. So you actually could see killer doing an aggressive like 2 hatch all in build, which was actually suit his playstyle because of the way the mains are laid out.
Right. XKCD, your wire is getting in the way again. Just a heads up there.
You know what actually I'm going to do? I'm going to... Yeah, so it looks like my earbuds, they have a microphone right on it, but I'm not in the mic. They're still picking up audio. So I'm going to do the... Give me a second. I'm going to try to see if I can swap earbuds out.
Sounds
see
good.
if that works.
What is this G School game here, or G School show they're showing here? That guy's wearing a bow tie. That girl's wearing a bow tie. She's wearing like a Christmas bow too. That guy's wearing a regular tie. That he's a square. Not having fun. Oh man. So S&M, Supernova Maniac, contacted me in the past week, and he said that the KSL is aware that we are streaming, but he's not sure if that means that we should be streaming or if they're going to ask us to stop. But what he did say is make sure we're not making money by streaming the KSL through our stream. So guys, don't worry, we're making absolutely zero money. This is just
we're doing this all. Testing microphone. Does it work now?
Oh yeah, you sound good.
Okay, so I just swapped headphones. So yeah, like you were saying, we're doing this just for the level Brood War. We didn't make no money off of this. We are doing this because it's the best game ever, the best esports, and we do it because we love to do it. So.
Oh my God, what are we watching?
I wouldn't be worried about. What? This is apparently a talk show or something. Oh
no! Did you just see that chick? That was like the Asian Laura Croft here. I feel like my tune's about to get raided. Oh my goodness.
Is this even appropriate to show kids, man?
I know. I guess StarCraft's mature rated, so they can put whatever they want.
Or they assume that like the general audience for this is going to be like older teenagers, right? So it's still appropriate anyways. Even though I don't think it's an appropriate show, man.
Right.
Don't show this to kids, man.
I bet you Yellow like got with his group of friends for the KSL, and he's like, guys, everybody's past puberty now. Everybody's trying to get laid. Let's show them something sexual.
We're gonna play the
I really
sexy.
wish we had more of these girls in the training house. Man, all these KT roster coaches didn't let us have any fun.
Well, they didn't let the players date anyways because they were afraid it would get in with their playtime, which is why Sork was terrible toward the end of his career. He started playing phone games in World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft and phone games, yeah.
That's what the rumors were.
Crush,
hey man, Candy Crush is a real game. Real game for casuals.
Yeah, it's a man's man game.
Yeah, that's right. 100% right. Only real men played.
Ugh.
So I'm still trying to figure out what that commercial was about.
Jeez,
It's like teaching what, like.
It's like the G is like the G and G string. No one really knows what the G stands for, but they know if they put it before, it's just gonna make it sexual.
So it looks like we're gonna go live again now.
Sweet.
So we're gonna have the
Back
second
into
game of the
intro,
night,
guys.
Dude, it's beautiful, man. Beautiful.
XKCD, I can't tell you how excited I am for this next match.
Dude, I can feel it. You don't need to tell me right now.
I feel like Mind is actually in my head at this point. We are slowly becoming part of his whole brain network.
I mean, the way he does it, he puts his viewers to sleep, and then that's how he gets them, you know?
Right.
He doesn't do anything flashy. Like, he always plays standard every time. It's
Oh
like
my
he plays.
God, my Flash plugin just died for my stream. What the hell?
Fix it, hurry, quickly.
Why? Oh, it's so much fail.
Man, it's been a struggle for us today.
Why did I click continue instead of stop?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Stop moving. Okay, well, everything's closed down now. Beautiful, guys. Oh, we're all back online. Here we go.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome.
So we're not missing out much. The cast looks like they're just going over the games.
Right, yeah, you guys aren't missing anything right now, but let's see here.
I'm just checking mail and whatnot. Checking the Team Liquid polls and the threads.
All right, we are back online and showing the stream here. What were we just discussing? Mind. You know what, Mind? I always imagine when one day we're gonna see him on camera and he's gonna look like the brain dude from the Ninja Turtles. It's with the brain that's kind of like floating in the jar.
I was thinking more like Dr. MODOK for Marvel, with like the big brain guy sitting in a chair floating.
I see that. And
then you see him say, "Analyze Cube." Analyze Terran.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Nope.
Well, Killer doesn't have anything fun to look like.
Well,
he looks like a little child.
Yeah, he is.
That's about it. He's like the Asian Oliver.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why when I have to say someone from Korea, it looks like something from America, I always have to put the Asian before it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What the hell? Nina is just posting the weirdest stuff in the chat. And in fact, Nina Zerg came out with a blog that she gave me a shout out for, so I'm going to have to give that props at least.
Oh, did I get a shout out in that one?
This is how to 4-pool guide in the blogs. It starts off great. There are 2 curse words within the first 10 words of her guide. So, if you guys want to learn how to 4-pool, go read that. Obviously, another way of building Zerglings to win against your opponent.
Alright, I got a shout out. So thank you, Nina Zerg, for somehow finding inspiration for me to help you write your magnificent 4-pool guide.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty extensive shout out list.
It is.
Zombie Grub's in there. She's a StarCraft.
I feel like what she did was copy paste the entire SCS Skype group, and just added extra players to it.
Well, Tasteless is in there. Chill, Lil Susie.
We got Day 9.
Calm and Effort.
Oh, we got Testy.
Idra.
We got Whistler. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Remember when
this
Whistler?
Is an epic shout out list.
Just landed off.
But way too many Flash fans made the list, though. I'm gonna have to knock her a point for that one.
Nah, but it balanced it out because all the BisuDagger fans are at the end.
Yeah. Whatever. Hackle Beast and Happy Bunny Time made it, so we're good.
Oh man, where is Happy Bunny Time? Like,
oh my goodness.
He is such a nice guy. If you ever meet him,
HPT is awesome. So it looks like we got Killer on the screen here, and this is the most relaxed I've seen Killer in all his games of recent.
Right, because this is the he knows that at the end of the game, at the end of the day, like, the game doesn't really matter that much, so you can play with a relaxed composure.
Yeah,
Like
that is
not,
pretty true here.
there's not that much pressure.
Where it's like a Bisu versus Quanro situation. The loser doesn't really lose out that much.
Right. I mean, you still want to play your best just to get the advantage going on to the next round for placements. But what it also does, it gives both players an opportunity to try out new builds in a televised match. Like, for example, we might see Killer do something like quite crazy, maybe like a Lurker drop, or we'll see Mind do some kind of volcanic build with Valkyries. Like, plus it gives the players an opportunity to practice the Mayan when they don't actually have to play it under serious pressure. So overall, this match will benefit both players.
Yeah, that's exactly why I think we're gonna get a good matchup. Unlike Quanro versus Bisu, where I feel like either person didn't really care. Mind versus Killer, this is a huge opportunity to not only show the viewers a fun game, which is something that like an old school player like Boxer would do when it's an unimportant match. Those guys of the past would really just try and show something fun for the fans. And I think that Mind vs. Killer has the potential to test everything out and maybe shows a really cool long game.
Right. So, excuse me, alright.
So who do you think's going to win here? Let's get the predictions out. Mind versus Killer. Who's going to win?
I feel like I have like a, kind of like a, my spider senses say the Killer will win. It's going to be with an aggressive two-hatch build.
Yeah, when I saw that smile on Killer, I really felt like spiders were calling on me too. So
Killer has something special made for Mind. That I don't know if maybe it's something that he wants to reveal right now or if it's something else, but
okay, so Killer may have something special planned, but I think that Mind is going to be like, "Ha, that's what you thought of? I thought of this too." And Mind will win. So, Mind being on a roll, he's just going to continue his dominance.
I like that poster of him.
That was pretty awesome.
Like an action hero. That is a nice poster. So, looks like we're about to go live in the game right now. We see the fans clapping for everybody. So give yourself a round of applause as well for watching. Supporting
Here we go, guys. Game number 2. This is a Kongdoo Starz League. This is BisuDagger on the microphone along with AmazingXKCD. And the game is just about to begin.
We have the classic countdown. And we're live in the game.
Oh, man, that means you're ahead of me again.
Really? For how many seconds?
It's alright. I will solve this problem. Don't worry, people.
Alright, so it looks like Killer's going to spawn in the 3 o'clock position of the orange Zerg, and Mind's going to spawn in the 7 o'clock position at the blue Terran. And the Killer is scouting the wrong direction, actually. So this will benefit Mind just slightly. But we may not know what his Mind's scouting pattern going to be. Or he's going to scout clockwise or counterclockwise. That's not really that important at the moment.
Right. Unless he was trying to rush.
Now, Killer's not the type of player that would do a rush like that.
No, he plays very standard.
It's like standard with the hint of aggressiveness due to Jadon's like tutelage.
So we've got the same exact positioning as Haya versus Hero.
Right.
And so we know that what did Hero go for in the Haya versus Hero game? He went for the standard 3-hatch opening, didn't he? Yeah,
then Haya tried to go for an early stim attack with the 2 Raxes.
Right. And that was defended really well with just static defenses, building just enough of colonies, and was able to preserve everything he needed for getting those mutas out. And the game was pretty much over as soon as those mutas came out.
Yeah, but the thing is, Hero did sacrifice a third, because he didn't actually have a quick third. He delayed his third foot just so he could get the static defenses up, but it did pay off in the long run. So it looks like Killer's going to go for the standard 12-hatch, 12 scout. This is nothing really out of the ordinary for Zerg players' build orders. Mine should be putting out a barracks pretty soon. Unless he's going to do a 14 CC.
Right, because there's no supply depot and no barracks yet in this game, and that's pretty late. So I think that we are about to see a command center come down.
I think Killer misclicked his drone.
Yeah. That's always annoying when you click in the wrong spot here. For those of you coming from StarCraft 2 to StarCraft 1, just to view for a minute, there's the fog of war blackens out the whole entire map until you've explored it. So a little bit more difficult.
Oh.
See where you're going?
So it looks like Mind actually went for the 14 command center at the high ground. So this is a safe variation of it, in which if Killer did go for an early Zergling rush, Mind would still have at least the high ground to help protect the natural. Sorry, not the natural, the ramp with the SimCity.
I wonder if you can't block the ramp though if he put his barracks forward more to combine it with that command center, because he put the barracks kind of far back.
Mm-hmm. Or it might just be like he just wants to make a little SimCity towards his mining line, where if you were going to do for like a Zergling rush, it'd be more the Marines would spawn closer to your main, which is actually of more importance than your natural.
Right. So he is putting down that second barracks, and what you got to realize right away is that he's going to be behind on a unit count because he didn't open up racks first. So getting that second barracks out pretty quickly will allow him to catch up on that on the Marine count,
right?
Which is really important right now.
Right, and we're seeing Killer just drone heavily. He only made 2 Zerglings this time, as he knows that Mine can't possibly pressure at all. And even if he were to pressure, you can't just send out like three Marines, because then he has nothing to defend at home.
Did you see this? The command center couldn't land because he sent his SCVs under here.
Yeah, that's a little that's just kind of a off chance that happens. Generally, like when you main nerd your SCVs, you still will be able to land a command center. Right. Meanwhile, Killer's just going to heavily drone, and then he sends one Zergling in to scout, so he sees the natural command center being down. It looks like Mine's going to go for an engineering bay.
Yeah, I think both players have just basically on their own agreed, hey, this is going to be a very economical game. And Killer says, okay, you can open up 14cc. I have a build that will allow me to macro really hard against the 14cc opening, and that's what he's going to be going for here.
Yeah, so it looks like Mine's going to get... I think the way it worked with the command center first is you have enough minerals and gas to be able to afford that extra +1 attack alongside your natural stim timing. So this actually might be a bit dangerous for Killer, because if Mine does go for the a timing attack when Killer's Spire just about to pop, it could do a lot of damage with +1 Marines and a medic. So it looks like Killer's going to put up a safety sunken, and you're going to have his Spire coming down. And yeah, there's the +1. It could be +1 armor as well. That's a bit of an unorthodox build, though.
Yeah, he's probably going to go for the +1 attack. That'll pay off more heavily against Zerglings.
And also the Mutalisk, too.
Yes, definitely.
The Mutalisks are quite soft, actually. Like, if you had, like, 1 Marine versus 1 Mutalist, the Marine will generally win with Stim. Due to just the Marines have higher DPS. So it looks like Mine's going to add 2 more barracks, it seems. Mm-hmm. So it's going to it's like a variation of the 5-rack build that we were talking about earlier in the cast, where this allows for Terran to have a heavy mid-game presence.
Exactly.
While still transitioning.
That 5-racks production, if done consistently, will give you a huge wave of bioforces early on in the game.
And it's quite cheap as well, because Marines are only 50 minerals for each one. So it looks like the first 2 medics are out, and Mine right now, what he wants to do is pressure Killer, force him to waste money on Sunkens and static defenses, while that would also slow down his Mutalisk production. Meanwhile, Killer's not buying it. Like he already shown his hand to Mine that he had a couple Zerglings that's ready for the run by. So it's kind of like a stalemate outside of Mine's natural.
Right.
The player's just jockeying for positions, as you can see. Like Killer's trying to poke to make Mine overstim or perhaps move out and wrong. Meanwhile,
so it looks like advantage of the early engineering bay, so that way you can not just get that +1 attack, but also build these turrets up here for defenses. Right. The curious thing that I'm looking at as far as what Killer's doing is there's no third base done quite yet, and it looks like he's sending a drone up to the 12 to build a hatchery.
Yeah, I think this is standard, like, for the way this map's going to play out in the future.
Right.
It's for third players, you just take the other main that's not been taken yet. So it looks like the military are about to just come into Mine's bait, but he already has 3 turrets up.
Oh,
Which,
this is going to be a lot of heavy damage if he doesn't bring those mutas out. I don't know. He's going to go through the hole in here, and this is exactly what it looked like in the Hero versus High game. He got his mutas into the back here and was able to do a lot of damage, but these Marines seem like they're in good position for Mind. He's in a much better spot than Haya was.
yeah, because like Mind's prepared for this, where Haya wasn't really that prepared as well. So I don't think this will slow down Mind nor Killer in the long run, but what it does is it forces Mind to play safe because he can't just like blatantly move out. So meanwhile, we're gonna have Killer put down his hydrogen and hopefully his Queen's necessary to get the hive tech.
The tricky thing that Mind can do from here, though, is if he can continue this contain on the mutas, is take half his forces and just send them over to Killer's base. Because there aren't mutas at home to defend, and so if he can get a strong enough force, he can either just reinforce the contain with his bio, or maybe possibly get damage. The third also is wide open. That's what they were just showing on the camera here. And so Killer really has to sacrifice maybe some damage on his mutas right there.
But there are Zerglings out in the middle of the map, so they'll at least stop one Marine from being there. But what it does is it lets Killer know that that there's a rogue Marine medic force out. But it should be good muta micro should be able to bring that down quite easily.
Right. Trying to use this little bit of a cliff here to micro
Oh,
but you can see a lot of his mutas were damaged, and so they're dying pretty quickly to a force that shouldn't have gotten that many kills.
Right, and it looks like that Killer lost 3 mutilas there. Not the end of the world, but it might be a little problematic. It looks like Mind's going to go for the tank push again. This is the same thing that we saw in Sock versus Hero, where you go for the tanks. You don't even wait until you have your first vessels out. You just go right away with your 2 tanks.
Right, and that's the huge advantage of going for this Marine heavy build early on, is that you leave so much gas for your tech, and then you're able to pump out a few tanks when you're ready to go for that bio push.
Okay, so it looks like the Killer right now, his best option is to go for the flank, it seems.
I don't think that there's enough now. Killer's in a position where he doesn't have enough static defenses, but also those tanks are going to start picking off the ones that are already existing. So this is a really difficult spot for a Zerg to be in, because you can build as many Sunkens as you want, but the tanks can range them. So you have to have ground forces. Lurkers would have been really nice at this point, but I'm not sure he even has Hydras out.
No, I don't think, like, the Lurker tech, it was to finish, it would have finished just about now. But I don't think Killer can even afford to make Lurker. He'll just take way too long. Like, he has to do something right now. It looks like there'd be a Zerglin run by it should kill Mind's reinforcement, so it's going to slow down Mind a little bit. And there it is. Mind's forcing Killer's hand out since the tanks are in range of the natural hatchery.
Right, he was able to take one of those forward tanks, though. There
are
that second group. Okay, so Lurkers are done. We just couldn't see the Hydras. They were hidden up inside of the main here. And these Lurkers are going to be very difficult to deal with, obviously. But they're all kind of clumped up. It's almost like Killer can't lift them out of the ground and spread them out, as he should. So one more scan should probably seal this game.
Possibly. But Killer's trying to delay with immediately. He has quite good mutalist control, I'll tell you that much. And looks like, Killer's just going to tap out.
GG. And so now we're seeing what happens if the mutas are deflected. The later step inside of this on this map in TVZ. And Mind won that pretty easily.
Yeah. But I think if you want to look at that game a little bit more closely, basically, it looks like you can't let your mutalists get trapped in that like little corner of the between the main and the natural. If you let your mutalists get trapped, then you basically just gave Terran complete map control, as the mutalists can't just pick off your advancing forces one by one.
Right.
And what we're actually kind of seeing right now is this is the second time that we've seen Terrans go for a tank push without vessels. So it might be an evolution of the metagame, it looks like.
Especially when it's not that far of a spawn distance.
No, you're right. It's not really that far off. But I'm wondering like what Zerg should be doing now, because I don't think Defiler tech will be out in time unless you go like straight to Defilers and completely skip Lurkers. But then if you skip Lurkers, then you have your third is going to be hard to defend, because you need that Lurker. There's Lurkers to hold the ramp, right?
Right. Well, I think we're seeing here that if you decide to go for mutas, like we've seen in both games, unless your opponent makes the mistake to not turret and defend their main, mutas might not be entirely effective on this map.
Well, I think the mutalisks are fine. It's just that you have to realize that if you're going to dive into the Terran base like that, that you at least have a exit path or inflict enough damage such that you can force your way out. I
Right.
mean, you might
Killer took
lose.
way too much damage during that dive.
I don't think. Well, he didn't take that much. He didn't lose any mutalisks during that dive. What he did lose was map control, which is the bigger problem in the end because this map is quite small. It's the way the map's being designed. And also, what we could have seen is if Killer had maybe perhaps faster lurker timing, or maybe like he built his hydrogen while his spire was being built, which is a little bit risky because you're not going to have 9 mutalisks out in time for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it will help you get the faster lurkers, which might have helped. Or what I was actually hoping to see was, when Mine was marching across the map with his army, Killer looked like he was going to go for the flank, but he never really chose to engage right until Mind already got up to his natural. Like what I wanted to see was Killer just kind of like throw away units to slow down Mind's push.
Right.
Because like Killer had like at least a control and a half, like maybe like 20 Zerglings that would have helped. Even though they might all have died, it would just slow down the advancing forces, and maybe he could use those Zerglings as fodder to let this Mutos pick off the tanks.
Right, and also it was basically a good 30 seconds with that push at the natural before the lurkers were able to come down that ramp. So maybe that engagement that you're talking about, the stall mine, would have been just enough so that way he could spread his lurkers out and defend his natural.
Or at the very least, even if he couldn't defend the natural, it would still force Mine to leapfrog his tanks, and leapfrogging takes forever.
Right.
Especially if you have to like leapfrog into the lurker range. Then it's like a little cat and mouse game again, where lurkers you leapfrog into lurkers push back, and then you still got to leapfrog again, because otherwise lurkers are just going to kill your forces, and the Marines can't go in because the lurkers are there. So, like I said, I think it's just a little bit of misplay on Killer's part to just let Mine march up.
Right. I think what we can gather from this map is that I don't feel like there's this major imbalance quite yet for either side in the TVZ. I think it's come down to which player made the better decision making.
Right.
And that's really what you want out of the map.
But I think this map kind of favors Terran in the long run. We'll see how the game. Cause we've only had like 4 games on this map so far.
Right.
So
it's in the round of 8. It's going to be way more interesting when we come to best ofs.
Yeah. I mean, we can only speculate, or at least theory craft about how the map play out, as we've kind of been doing for the last couple of weeks with the 2 maps. So, but like I said, I feel like Killer had the opportunity to extend it at least until he got Defilers out.
Right.
I would be really interested to see how Mine would play late game on this map.
Now, Killer did manage to take his third, and that was huge. He even had the drone transfer all the way to his third, which almost got caught, by the way. I mean,
yeah, it did.
Those Marine forces were literally screen inches away from being able to see those drones, which is why he had to dive those mutas out as quickly as he did when he was losing the map control, and that would have absolutely just ended the game right there. So that was one of those clutch moments for Killer to keep him in just as long as he was in the game.
Right, well, that actually was kind of nice, though, that what Killer did, if you're looking at a mini-map, like, yes, you had Zerglings spread out all over the map for any kind of pushes, but Mine forces almost slipped by, because there was that hole in the top part of the map. But luckily, Mine ran into Killer's Zergling and it alerted him.
Right. Killer is as good as any Zerg right now at spreading out his Zerglings and being aware of the map. You don't see another player better than him at just having Zerglings constantly running around, trying to make sure nothing is slipping by.
Right. So it looks like we should be going to commercial break pretty soon. We're going to have all-topic talks.
Yeah.
Now we're actually going to get into what I would consider to be the most important part of the night. So this is where the games, where the matches absolutely matter.
Yes.
For the lifelines of every player involved. So like the first two matches were nice to see, but it really didn't matter in the end. Whereas these two are like the games where we have to pay attention, focus to.
Right, and they're both played on the exact same map, so we're going to see a little bit of a variety of the matchup, but same map. So lots of analysis is going to be going into La Mancha, and we're going to see how these players today are going to take the metagame and transform it on a map like this that's been around for quite a while now.
Or maybe even possibly bring a new evolution to it.
Right.
If we look at that map before, kind of been like I said before, Terran pushing out without vessels and just tanks itself is actually kind of a new thing. Generally speaking, like if you look at any old build guides, like written on TL by various authors, and if you look at any old Korean replays, they wait until the vessel's out, then they push. Now it looks like Terrans are quite confident in Marine Medic Micro that they can just push without that vessel,
right?
Still be able to defend against Mitos. So now the question is, what do Zergs do to counteract it? So that's where
they're not building the vessels. It kind of puts a lot of importance on those comsat stations, and those seem to be very well defended. At the natural, there's a turret or two in the natural, in the mineral line, and then there's a bunker at the front. And there's usually about 3 turrets, like we saw in this past game, around the command center's mineral line in the main. And
right,
so,
but if you're a Zerg player, like if you have Mutalisk and you're going into the player's base, your first course of action isn't generally going to be, I better take these comsats down. It's more going to be, I better kill SCVs, slow down the economy, make the Terran stay defensive. But you can give Terran like all the scanning in the world, but if you can't get out of his own base, then what good use does it do for him?
So yeah, taking out those comsat stations, and when you build them, I think they start off with 50 energy right away, don't they?
Yeah.
So I mean, it costs barely anything. They rebuild very quickly. So only in extreme cases would you actually want to focus down the comsat station, and that's because your lurkers are about to push inside of the natural. You know, other than that, you don't need to do that. You can use your lurkers to force scans, and as long as you spread them out correctly, then you'll be fine.
All right. So it looks like we're seeing the free plays from last week's games.
Right. Yeah, I was like, hey, I remember that girl with the wallet sign, or the wallet phone. So I hope you all are having a really good morning or night or wherever you are in the world. I am BisuDagger on the microphone. AmazingXKCD is with me, and we have had a blast casting this KSL so far. This is the 3rd weekend, day 5 of the KSL, and the next 2 games are going to be super important. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to grab my coffee, and then we will get right back into this as soon as the commercial break's over. So thank you all for hanging in here with us and getting past the technical difficulties. It's going to be a lot of fun in a moment. All right, I'm back here.
Welcome back.
XKCD, let me tell you something pretty awesome. Well, hold on one second. Earth Dragon says, bring a little bit of sound from the Korean stream. I can do that. Let's... Oh, I didn't realize this one was muted. Oh, that's probably really loud for you guys now. Okay. Let me know how that sounds. Let's get the sound situation figured out. Okay, so something really cool. In the first 4 days of casting the KSL, while it shows only maybe 100 active viewers at a time on my stream, we have had over 15,000 views.
That is impressive.
That is awesome. So you guys are really cool. I know a lot of you can't watch the entire thing, so you're just coming in and out and watching as much as you can, though. So XKCD and I are really thankful for you guys to watch this, because it's a huge deal to have 2 Star Leagues running at the same time, and it can't be any cooler for Brood War fans than it is in 2015.
It's a year of Brood War, man. That's what the prophecies were told. Then we'll be keep playing until MSL 2052.
That's right.
If you guys have never read the 2052 comic, you should definitely read it. That is a fantastic comic about MSL. Never forget.
Was it 2052 that it predicted?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so far
basically,
away.
what happened with Jaedong and Flash basically became robots, like cybernetic beings. And
Right.
They were still playing in Star League finals.
Oh, that's awesome. So 2052, that puts us another 40 years from now about. Let's see. I'll be about 65, guys. Somewhere around there.
I'll be 60. And we're probably already wearing diapers again.
Yeah, we'll be back in the diapers. No, I hope at 65 I'm functional. And
Back
passing
in my
StarCraft.
day, we played with rubber dome keyboards and we liked it.
You know what? I think if I'm still casting Brood War at 65, I would like to actually learn some of the builds correctly. Right now, I cast intelligently, but it may not actually be factual.
As long as it sounds right, that's what I'm here for. Hopefully,
Yeah, that's right.
at least both of us can't be wrong at the same time, can
See, sometimes I'll be casting, and I'll say something that sounds right, and XKCD's brain will like die a little inside, but then it'll be like, it's okay, BisuDagger, I can make you sound correct here. I'm gonna twist it. And then we get the right information out, so we're good.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I remember this game. This was fun to watch.
This was a good game to watch.
It was. If Rock didn't just lose his Nexus here, this would have been late game, very late game,
Right.
and then that would have been super cool to see. Cause it would just basically be what would happen would there would be a stalemate in the middle of the map, and then everyone would just go for drops.
Right. Oh man, those Bisu scarabs so godly.
He got so lucky there, cause that main mirror line for Pusan, there's a hole in it.
Right.
There's
Right.
no hole in Bisu's. So Bisu got the spawn advantage
Oh man, that's so nice.
because that scarab shot through that hole in the mineral line.
You know, the awesome thing about this game too is we were so baffled by the Dragoon range early on, but it really helped out against the shuttle harassment, because his shuttle just couldn't get in anywhere. The range on the Dragoons is so effective against denying shuttles. Yeah. Guys, this is PvP at its best right here.
This is the kind of PvP you do want to show to
Right.
viewers.
Oh, it's gonna fizzle. Ah, it fizzles. Well, and then this one doesn't get anything done. Look at that. There's no hole in the mineral line for him. Pusan,
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunately.
Like Pusan scarab had to go all the way around the mineral line.
Right.
Or like he would at least have gotten probably 5 probe kills there and kept them in the game.
Yeah. So one thing we didn't discuss after Bisu's lost to Quanro is the fact that PVZ is his worst matchup in the post-Kespa era. Isn't that nuts?
That's ironic because it was his best matchup in the Kespa era.
Right. He's like super dominant in PvP, which he was doing terrible at the end. And now PvT is just like almost a sure thing. He's very impressive at PvT. And he says it's his best matchup on streams.
Right. Maybe like he's been spending so much time trying to get up his PvT over there like the last couple years, both at Kespa and in amateur days. Like that hit PvZ just gets worse. Like if you think about it, like how many good Zergs are there that could actually be willing to practice him consistently? Because he's been practicing PvT with C, right? And we know that C is a fantastic Terran versus Protoss player.
Oh yeah.
So he's always getting high level practice. But how many good ZVPers are there that can actually take it to the late game?
Right.
Because it seems like most Zergs nowadays are a bit weak. And they generally resort to like little cheesier builds or.
It would be crazy if there was like a Zerg embargo on Bisu because they are tired of him getting the practice in to be good. So they're like, if no one practices against him, he can only do 1v7 comp stomps. and Bisu's probably like, okay, I'll play against 7 Zerg computer opponents.
What could be happening is that like all the Zergs are playing with like say Jungbi or Free or even like the other Protoss players.
Yeah.
Then again, like I don't know how the players are organizing their practices. It
Yeah.
seems like more like a friendly basis. Like Larva would practice with Piano for ZVT, and then Killer practice with Piano as well. Could Piano like thank them for the practice in the SSL. So it looks like we're gonna go live again. So. We're actually going to see Hero versus Hayo. Sorry, Zero versus Hayo.
Zero versus Hayo, everybody. Zero is a Zerg that is slowly returning to great form. He has a 2-0 lead in this Group C. Hayo's in a must-win situation. If he loses here, he might be battling for for second place amongst the other players, depending on tomorrow's results. So Hayo versus Zero will determine this group right off the bat. Is Zero going to advance, or is it going to go into tiebreakers?
And look, and on Haya's side, basically he either has to win or he puts himself at the mercy of Jaehoon. And Jaehoon is Jaehoon.
Yeah, you don't want the mercy of Jaehoon, especially when he's playing at a PvZ.
It's like, and especially playing against Hero, whose best matchup is CVP, so that's even worse for Hayo. So it's a must-win situation for both players.
Yep.
Because if whoever loses needs Jaehoon to win,
right,
which is going to be very hard for Jaehoon to win. Jaehoon's just not that good of a player.
Their hope is just resting in the only Protoss in the group who just is terrible at all matchups. So poor guy. You know what? And the sad part was he was the captain and ace of Teammate at one point.
He was also the captain of NBC, I think. Maybe. Mm-hmm. No, Busan was captain. Busan was still there for a while. And he retired.
Post-nationalism, I'm sorry, I cannot stream over the Sniper Lot 2 stream because that one was falling behind for me and it was lagging. This one will not lag for me and it has shown good quality. So we're
no. He wants you to cast on the Sniper Lot 2 stream, which is not possible because of the fact that Sniper Lot 2 is completely automated by bots.
Right. Oh.
And I can get access to the stream key, but I don't want to mess up the bots.
I see. Yes, we don't want to mess with that. So we're going to stick with this. Maybe I can figure out your options to use lower quality in the future. But today, I am really sorry about your Chinese internet. I promise. I promise I will try and find a solution for you after this cast.
Well, there is another option which you can get partnered with Twitch, and it'll give you quality options.
Oh, there we go. If enough of you guys start to follow me and watch these games, I can get partnered with Twitch. So support me and support XKCD, and then we will be good to go. I did enable sound for the stream, Let me see if I need to just make it a little bit higher here.
Yeah, it probably would be best just make it a little bit higher.
It's really difficult to tell because even when it's barely audible for me, sometimes it's super loud for the streamers to hear, and so it's kind of like a little bit of a game you have to play with the audio. So this is only round of 16, guys. Round of 8, we're gonna be flawless. I promise you, production quality will increase a ton. But we are just getting warmed up to this 5 a.m. wake up time.
We've been practicing for the last couple of weeks to wake up early or stay up all night.
Right, exactly. I've been inviting all my late 20-year-old friends over so we could have slumber parties where we put our sleeping bags over our heads instead of our feet and then run around like giant worms. I pretend I'm a larva. You know what? What we'll do is 5 of my friends and I will put sleeping bags over our heads, and then someone will not have a sleeping bag, and we'll go larva rush, and then we'll chase after and tackle them.
Oh my goodness, that's kind of, I feel like that'd be kind of dangerous to do because if you have the sleeping bag over your head, you can't see where you're going.
And it's much harder now that I'm 6'3", because I'm more likely to hit my head on things.
Yeah, so at least do it like outside or like in a fenced area.
Right.
So if you fall down, you just fall down to the ground, this is actually not that bad. Like if I were to have to fall down, I'd rather fall down on like soft ground or rather than fall down on hardwood floor.
Right.
That would hurt. It would hurt either way, but I mean, you choose the lesser of both poisons.
Indeed.
Man.
Well, that's a pretty cool poster.
Oh, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a disappointing final, man.
Yeah. Every final was disappointing with Flash in it.
Well, it was disappointing because Zero just lost 3-0.
Yeah, ended too
like,
quickly.
I mean, I predicted him to lose 3-1. At least one of like I'm a Zero fanboy, but because he's my favorite Zerg player, but I just wish he had at least won one game, you know?
Right.
Like just the consolidation prize.
Yeah. He didn't need to go all effort, but he could have just gotten at least one easy one quick one. But Flash is a beast. So it looks like the players are ready to go here. They're set up on the screens, and looking on the left side, Hai's got the better demeanor. You're seeing the split screen right here. I feel like Zero is looking more nervous for this game.
Or maybe just the level of composure just shows differently for each player.
Intro has begun. Call it out. Who do you think's gonna win this game?
Zero. I think Zero actually has more ZBT games on this map than Haya does back in Cuspa days.
Right. Well, I'm going to give the tip of the hat to Haya because his life is on the line here. And I feel like Haya's got to have something really, really well prepared. And it's going to be a starport build. Trust me, maybe Valkyries. We're going to see something very starport heavy from Haya in this game.
Or, okay, so hopefully what I want to see is Zero start using Queens again. Because if you're watching Effort today, Effort started using Queens in his Zern versus Terran.
Oh, what a boss.
Like, he's like, when you see Terran goes back, he already started making Queens. Like, Effort knows how to beat Mac, and Queens are the way to do it.
So
it looks like,
call out the positions here.
Alright, so while I'm waiting for the map to show up again, so we're going to have Zero as the white Zerg in the bottom right, and Haya as the yellow or orange Terran in the top right. I would prefer them to go allied colors because it's kind of hard to see in a mini-map, the Terran colors.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, especially on this desert-style setting.
So it looks like both players are just going to go standard. I mean, there's no early pool or no like early SCV for proxy barracks. So I guess we can't really say much right now. And I really can't say much about the spawn position because I don't think there's really any balance, like any preferential spawn position for either players. Right. So it looks like we're going to see Haya go for that supply depot right under his command center. What it does, it helps to glitch out the SAVs faster. So instead of like spawning right under the command center, it spawns to the right of the command center. So basically, he mines a little bit faster.
Well, I think something towards the Terran advantage with these spawn positions is you could maybe do like a forward starport or a forward factory if you wanted to maybe go heavy with vultures for harassment. You could build at that 3 o'clock location on the map. That's just something that we can just kind of conceptualize here, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I can go for it if he wants to. And also maybe a really aggressive hatchery at that third. No, that won't happen, even though the drone is heading in that direction.
Oh, that's just a scouting drone.
Absolutely. It's going to see what exactly Haya's got going on here.
Oh, is Haya doing... Wow, Haya's going to do a 14cc.
Yeah, so that's the second game in a row that we're seeing a 14cc, and he's building it on the low ground. So this is really ballsy for our Terran player.
This is actually quite good for Haya because what Haya is basically saying with this build is, I know what Zero's going to game. Like, Zero's the type of player that will not be aggressive, so I can get away with this 14cc.
Right.
And I'm wondering if Zero's going to delay his spawning pool, which he doesn't, unfortunately. Because I actually would like to have seen Zero to get a third hatchery before spawning pool.
And forcing an SCV to come out here and repair on the building SCV, he's actually losing a decent amount of mining time by having to continue to repair that SCV.
And looks like Zero already has a spawning pool up, and he's going to produce a couple Zerglings just to be annoying. So that barrack needs to come up really fast. As soon as that barrack finishes, we need to see Haya put a bunker down immediately. So we'll see what happens.
So 4 Zerglings. Okay, it is going to be 6 Zerglings here. He does not have the gas done yet, so speed isn't going to be on the way. A second barracks follow-up. So this looks very similar to what mine did in the last game so far for Haya.
Right. I mean, I think it's pretty... It looks like the Zerglings are going to pass the scouting SCV. So Haya, at least, he's going to have the correct response to this. He's already pulling SCVs because he saw these Zerglings pass by.
Right.
So basically what Haya needs to do is not let those Zerglings get up the ramp.
And that's a very wide ramp to get up. But the Zerglings seem like their pathing AI is just all screwed up.
Ooh. That was actually pretty good SCV micro by Haya.
That was a beautiful defense.
That was.
Very well played by Haya. He's better off now. And I feel like he only had a little bit of an economical disadvantage because of that harassing drone that did more than any of those Zerglings did.
Right. And what it does is that Zero made 6 Zerglings, so he lost 3 drones basically in that. And he didn't get a single SCV kill, did he? I don't think so.
No, he didn't get an SCV kill, and he lost a couple of his Zerglings. I think he lost 2 of them. So,
I think he lost 2. So basically, Haya's actually a little bit ahead now. Right.
This is looking a really good position for the Terran player, and you can't be upset with that, especially since...
I like what Haya's doing.
Hmm?
You see what Haya's doing on the minimap? He's sending already Marines out.
Oh dear. There's some early
push.
aggression here off these two barracks.
He's doing that super cheeky push with the Marines. And come on, I need Zero to scout this. Come on, man, scout it. Looks like Haya's not going to commit to it. Like I wonder if he's trying to catch an Overlord off guard or catch some like lurking Zerglings off guard.
Right.
But it looks like he's like if he lost all those Marines right now, it would have been game over because Zero can just mass speedling all in from that point on. So it looks like, we're going to see the exact same thing as last game. We're going to see the Academy Bay. We're going to see the 2 barracks. We don't see the Engineering Bay, though. I wonder if it's just not been shown on the server screen.
I think not seeing the Engineering Bay at this time might mean that he will work. He could be meching up from here.
Possibly. I mean, I would love to see a mech game. Because mech versus Zerg late game is always fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Especially on La Mancha, which is actually the perfect map for that. So looks like so we're gonna have the standard for like the variation of the 5 racks, but this time. So while Zero himself is gonna go for the standard 3 hatch fire, gonna get 9 mutilas up, use that to scout and harass. Zero still can't even get a SCV kill. Man, he must be feeling a little bit flustered by this. So there's the Engineering Bay now. So this is basically just a standard timing. So when the mutilas coming to highest base, the turret should be just about finished.
Right.
So
yeah, I think the Engineering Bay is not... he probably won't go for the upgrade unless he really wants to fully commit to this bio. And so if we do see the engineering bay blinking, then we'll know that I guess we're not going to see mech, and it probably will be a tank follow-up with the Marines. But this is a pretty sizable push right here. The Mutas are going to have to do their best to pick off or bait the Marines away from his natural here. And no third base has been taken or identified for Zero so far.
I'm wondering if this is because of Zerg just being scared in general.
Right.
Because generally, like the Caspian days, Zerg would always send out their drones for the third base while the Spire was building, because they were quite confident they could get away with it.
Yeah, and then if you can't, you can generally just cancel it, or it's a tough 300 minerals to lose, but it does keep your opponent away from your main and natural if they do go for the third. And you have a decision to make about how much you want to just reinforce with units or tech up. The third gives a lot of options to the Zerg player that Zero isn't giving himself. And instead he's going to be taking a lot of hits from these turrets.
Yeah, but you get with every volley you get an SCV kill. So I think it's actually quite well for Zero. He hasn't quite lost in Meatless yet. Meanwhile, what Zero needs to be worried about is the fact that Haya had a pretty big ball,
right,
ball on the middle of the map.
He has enough sunkens here to defend, but I don't know what the repercussions are going to be for that Muta attack. I feel like it may have done more damage, even though all his Mutas are alive. It's going to take a long time for the Mutas to regen their health.
And it looks like Zero still hasn't even expanded to a third yet. Like, we already see Haya trying to position units around the map to scout for that third, but there is no third to scout.
Right.
I wonder if Zero's plan is the safest way possible, which is to get lurkers first and then build a third. That way, if the Terrans scout it right away, you just still can't push up the ramp because there's two lurkers there. As those two lurkers will one-shot any Marines going up the ramp. So looks like both players are going to tech up. I would like to see that third way faster third from Zero.
You know, this is crazy. It's really showing the disadvantage of spawning at the 1 o'clock for a Terran player, because you can't put a turret behind the mineral line. And sometimes you see maybe a turret in the middle of the mineral line between the minerals and the command center. I wonder if that would have been a more useful turret to have.
Like, I would have seen Haya make like an L shape with his turrets. So that way, each turret is always going to be covered by another turret.
Right.
And you can't dive into one turret without being attacked by the other turret. So it looks like Zero's going to play this the ultra safe way. He's just going to get his lurkers and Zerglings out first, and just clear the map, and then with that get his third.
Oh, huge engagement here with these lurkers. Should be able to take them all out.
Nice.
Nice little push there for Zero. He's looking pretty good in this game so far.
Yes.
Oh, but the Marines, they're trying to stay. I don't know why they want to hang out here. Even with the high ground, that's just a bad spot to be in. And they're going to rush their little way back out of here. And a nice little defense here at that third location with the Marine to pick off that drone.
That is not good for Zero. Now his third can be delayed even more. But what's nice about this, though, is that if Haya went for that early tank push with just the two tanks, he had lurkers out in time. And he had a quite ample scouting position. So this is quite slow play from Zero, but it's not like Haya's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, but now we're seeing 2-base hive for Zero, and 2-base hive is actually hard to persist with, because you do need that third gas, and at this point we're seeing that Zero is gonna really be thirsty for having more gas heavy possibilities here, as tanks are going to come out, Marines and fire bats are in the mix here, so this is going to be really tough to hold. Obviously, once the defilers are out, he can use that to his advantage, but still, without that third base, I don't know if Zero is going to be able to hold on to the late game.
I mean, yeah, sure, there'll be defilers now, but I mean, defilers are going to get killed by the vessels. And it's basically a question we're going to have to ask now: at what cost was delaying the third worth it for?
Right, but a ton of lurkers right now. It's going to come down to how well and efficiently he can keep those lurkers alive. because it's hard to engage here, but we really only saw one tank with that group. Okay, so it looks like there's about 3 tanks mixed in, and if the mutas are done right, they should be able to pick off these tanks. Haya's going to have to be really careful, and this is exactly what you were talking about when we were reviewing the last game, is how the tanks have to leapfrog each other, and it does take a really long time to do this slow push all the way through the natural base.
What I like Zero's doing here is, like, notice he's trying to, slow down Haya's forces little by little. And I'm wondering what's he trying to do with this maneuver here. He ran away from the other units. So there's the first Defiler out.
He went with Dark Swarm here.
Nice. Oh, don't lose that second Defiler. Oh, this is beautiful for Zero, because now there's 2 swarms up. Those tanks are out of position.
And the forces are split. Dude, oh my god, both the tanks go down, and the other half of the forces just had to commit towards going towards the natural because they needed to get out of the Dark Swarm.
Right, and this is actually fantastic for Zero, because even Haya got to the natural, he can't commit. There's 7 Sunkens there. Like, you need like 3-3 Marines to commit to that. It looks like, again, what Zero's going to do now is, it's actually working out for him. Because
this is incredible.
It is. I can't believe this.
Now, behind the Zero is actually taking 2 bases. So he could become a 4-base Zerg. The problem is he's not going to be able to drone transfer. And that's something that he's going to have to just focus on droning at his additional bases instead of using those Larva 4 units.
Oh, he can drone transfer.
He does have the Nidus. Beautiful.
Okay, so he's already drone transfer a couple of units. So, this is not good.
He's going to need some lurkers at the 3rd and 4th base to defend here.
But there's the Nidus Canal, so it's not that bad.
Right. But the hatchery is getting really low on health, and there's no medics with that new Bioforce coming across the map. If anything was able to catch those Marines off guard, they would die very easily right now.
But I was surprised that I thought Haya would commit to trying to kill that hatchery, because buildings are not protected under swarms, only units, right? So even if you swarm your own hatchery, the Terran can still shoot it down, basically. And Haya still had like 3 Marines there. She could still shoot it down. So it looks like we're gonna see what my favorite part of Brood War, the mech switch.
Yes.
This is beautiful, man. This
is and he properly picked his nose right before putting the rest of the factories down.
The mechanic arm is malfunctioning, it seems.
Well, you see, he wanted to have sticky keys turned on, so he had to pick his nose first.
So basically this is Haya's best option, because this map is a good map for mech play. Because
absolutely, tanks are going to be super effective going into this late game. And I wonder how mines are going to totally transform this game, because vultures are out now, and he's just mineral dumping at this point while he takes a 3rd and is able to get the gas from that 3rd location. So it looks like he's going to be able to secure it at the 12 o'clock. And look at the map presence. Just looking at the mini-map, look how spread out Haya is at this point.
Yeah, but he has mines everywhere, so even if Zero does push out with motive units, he has enough time to react. So looks like we're going to see Zero's first-person view. So there's the Ultra's Cavern. So this is standard. So now, what I'm going to look for is, at what point does Zero build queens? And will he have the courage to build queen? That's the more important question.
Right. Will he have the courage indeed? But we will see Ultra soon, and that's awesome because cows on the field are really exciting here.
Yeah, because remember, both player tournament life is online here, because no one wants to jump out themselves to the J-Hoon.
Right, and no one wants to go into the tiebreakers, which is definitely a possibility here. Okay, so the Bioforces are going to be just creeping up along with some vultures at this 4th base. The vultures could run in here. It would. There are 2 sunken, so they will die pretty quickly if they attack up that high ground. Really good defense here by Zero. Putting in those Dark Swarms right away, he's going to force those units back.
Right, that was pretty good defense, but I feel like Zero played a little bit sloppy because he didn't have a Defiler there already. He had to bring a couple of Defilers from his natural base to defend that. Like, I feel like... so it looks like... Haya's is going to be forced back, and then Zero's going to take his 5th at the 6 o'clock. So now we're going to see Haya start to add tanks to his composition.
Well, what High has done a really good job of is preventing that 6 o'clock base to come up at this point in the game. And I'm sure that Zero would have really loved to have that hatchery earlier, but just now is he laying that down.
Right. And I think, like, or at least what we should see Zero do in the later future is be more aggressive with your hatchery placement.
Oh, huge pickup with the Scourge on that
huge.
science vessel.
He's gonna get second one. He's gonna get second
Oh,
one.
he did get it. He got it. That's a huge blow to the Terran
Oh
Forcer.
my goodness! Now that is a huge blow for Haya. Losing just two vessels like that. Because vessels are extremely expensive units to produce. Because they're slow, and it's 200 gas. That's a lot of gas.
Oh my goodness! Guess what, XKCD? This is late game TVZ at its finest.
It is. So it looks like Zero's gonna try to go for Dark Swarm push into the main. Sorry. And it's just going to get cleaned up. And
yeah,
meanwhile,
it did get cleaned up because
into the fifth?
He didn't send in enough at the same time. You can't send in one Zergling at a time. You really have to get that Zerg force gathered up if you want to get in and engage. But at least it did force the tanks to siege and hold position for a little while.
Wait, but basically what Zero's trying to do right now is he needs to delay for this Ultralisk upgrades to come up. And then we're going to start seeing mass produce an Ultralisk. So meanwhile,
because what do you get? +4 armor with that armor upgrade for the Ultralisk? Absolutely insane.
+5.
Oh, +5, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Another huge pickup here. High seems really distracted at this time.
I don't know if his highest reaction is slow, but I mean, just losing vessels to Scourges like that without even attempt to micro is just going to cost him the long game. Because, I mean, scans, he only has so many scans.
Right.
And he needs those vessels, otherwise the Devourer's just going to walk all over the place. And Zero's taking advantage of this right now. It's like
oh my goodness, there's nothing coming in here to defend these tanks, and so many of them just came down for free. Beautiful moves for Zero. He just chipped away at that Terran force. And that Vulture. Oh my goodness, it's getting all these kills.
Come on, drone, kill it, drone, kill it. He only has 2 HP. Kill it.
Oh man, what a blunder here for Zero. One of his first major mistakes in this game, I would say.
Zero, what are you doing? 5 kills on the Vulture, 2 HP.
Oh, now we're up to 6 here, and he's completely distracted. He does not know that there's that attacking Vulture.
I mean, Zero's doing fantastic all around the map, but there's 8 kills on that Vulture.
Oh, wow, going up to 9 now.
Kills.
And that poor Lurker. The Lurker doesn't even know.
Oh, finally, now he reacts.
Oh, and now it dies.
9 drones. You know how big that is? 9 drones.
He just cleared out all the mining at that base. And that's going to take a lot of larva to get all those drones back.
And he's going to go for another dive. This is good. This is good for Haya to come back into the game.
Right. Haya says, well, if one Vulture can do a ton of damage, I'm going to send in 12.
Whoa, how did those tanks get there, man?
Oh, and this is a crucial position here. If he can keep these tanks alive, he's going to need a science vessel to come in there and help guard those tanks also. But it's going to come down to drops are upgraded on the Overlords. He's going to drop Ultras on the tanks. This is going to be awesome to watch as we see Zero engage here. There's nothing to attack the air.
Right.
So huge drop, double Dark Swarm coming down. It's going to clean up those tanks. And so now what we need to see is either some Wraiths come out to play, or we're going to have to watch as Goliaths come out to defend with the army. Haya's going to have to be very careful, and drop play can be absolutely huge. So if he doesn't have a lot of turrets inside of his main base, so Haya's going to be vulnerable if a Dune drop does come.
And as you were talking about it, Haya started to make some turrets in its main base, like already SCVs coming out. So
and the Irradiate here, gonna kill off these Overlords pretty quickly, and he's gonna have to drop the units out, forcing Zero's hand to the ground.
So it looks like Zero's gonna transition. So so there's the +5 armor. So basically these Ultras are tanky. We're talking like the tankiest thing on Earth, man. These guys can soak up so much hits.
Right, without a Radiate, you're really in a lot of trouble because a Radiate can take the Ultras down to really low health. Other than that, you have to put in really good tank positioning here. And look at the upgrades for the mech army, only 0-1. He should drop down another armory and focus a lot of attention on getting those upgrades because otherwise he will be in a lot of trouble continuing this game.
I mean, what we're seeing right now is basically
This is like the kill switch for Zero. You delay if you're gonna go play late game. You delay until you get the upgrades for the Ultralisk, and then basically the Ultralisk can just power through a lot of the Terran army.
And he's forcing the lift at this top base in the left corner here, and it looks like Terran's going to be in a lot of trouble. It is 4 base to 3 base right now, but it looks like the main has been mined out for Haya, so he's probably got a depleted geyser up in his main also. So really a 2 base Terran going down to 1 as the natural will mine out soon.
Right, and now Haya has 2 options. A, go for a one timing attack, which kills Zero, which is not going to be possible, or play extremely defensive and just play the split map, which will affect Zero. So it looks like Zero's going to press his advantage in with Dark Swarms. Those Ultras are getting stuck, though. That's not really good for him.
Yeah, that is the trouble with Ultras. You have to babysit them a lot when you have a lot of them in the engagement. Sometimes they tend to just like lock tusks with each other and dance around in circles.
Oh my goodness, Haya only has 1 mining base.
Finally, his SCVs can return here. Haya's already dropped his mouth wide open, so you can see that he's reached his final form, but is it going to be enough to battle Zero?
Oh my goodness. What Haya needs to do is clear out the 3 o'clock, and yeah, he's gonna start. Yeah, he needs to get that. He needs to get at least another base up. Like, it's going to be risky for him to take the left side of the map since we already see Zero advancing his map control with the expansion at the 5, at the 6 o'clock, and the 9 o'clock.
Right.
And it looks like, he's doing the good thing. So he's going to push it.
Here comes the Scourge. And I think what we're going to see when we review this game, we're going to talk about those Scourge hits being so crucial on the science vessels. And are they going to continue to be able to do that heavy damage?
Oh, he didn't get that many.
Here
comes another Scorch hit. Oh, okay.
Wow, the Goliaths are defending just perfectly right now with that range. I think that Zero is trying to focus them down first and trying to focus down those Goliaths so that way he can kill off the science vessels and then the rest of the army will be weak.
We're seeing another attack on Zero's 5th. I'm wondering if that's even worth it because Zero doesn't have any mining there.
Yes, but he knows that is the lifeline of the Zerg. It is the future of the Zerg economy. So he wants to be able to hold it off and have this stronghold position. But what it is it allows Zero to pinch the Terran player from both sides. Because he has mass amounts of production from the left and the right. I just don't think that's a really good spot for the Terran player to attack in.
And remember that Haya only has 1 mining base. So if he loses his army, he can't recover at all.
Right. And did he lose that command center? That's what I'm confused about. Because he did have to lift his command center away.
He's still floating.
Okay. So he can try and find a position to land his additional command center, if at all possible. And what I'm really surprised by is that there has been no counterattacks to the main and the natural base of Haya.
Because Zero doesn't have the resources to do that.
Right. Constantly having to just defend and survive right now. The mech forces are really strong.
Okay, there's the Defiler. Here's like Zero already lost a lot of units trying to hold here.
Right. Oh my God, so many tanks are going down here. And I didn't think he would be able to break that without maybe introducing Plague into the mix here. But it looks like Dark Swarm was just enough. But Haya, he's so persistent. The science vessel's still alive, doing the best he can. And a lurker inside of the 3rd base.
Oh, I like
10 kills.
Zero's killing this comsats.
This is wild here. A huge explosion.
What a beautiful mind drag right there. Killing even more
I
tanks.
think this might be it. It looks like Haya's going to have to tap out. GG.
GG.
So what does this mean? Everything is in the balance of Jaehoon right now. If Hero wins, he'll advance with a 2-1 advantage. But if he loses, next weekend we're going to see a tiebreaker.
And I do have to comment about the game, though. Like, I felt like Zero was going to be behind because of his very delayed 3rd. Like, going high before 3rd? We don't see that very often. But it seems like what he did there, but he actually did a double expand at the same time. So it wasn't that bad. Because if you could get the protective 4th, because he would have Defilers and Lurkers out.
Right.
He would fine, but I would like to have seen Haya take advantage of that by maybe perhaps expanding a little bit earlier. And
I think what we see in TVZs when a Zerg player intentionally goes for Hive Tech off 2 bases, that's when we see them lose because they're trying to do weird things with their economy. Instead, it was a normal Zerg economy, a normal build that would allow him to go for that third base. And even though he took it a little bit later, a brilliant idea to just get that hive tech before the third base instead of after the third base and play with it really well on that map.
Right.
So, Zero played an amazing game. I think every Zerg player can learn a ton by watching this ZVT.
Who needs queens when you got scourges killing everything?
That's right. Very important. Those Scourge basically tipped the map in his favor. I won't say that's the definitive action that won the game, but losing those killed off that mid-game push that Haya desperately needed at the 3rd and 4th. Had those those Science Vessels not died, I think that Haya would have won the game.
Oh, no, at least Haya would have been able to have a better chance of winning.
Right.
But what that basically does was, the reason you get Science Vessel is to kill off the Defilers, right? That's the easiest way for Terran to kill them off. So if you lose the Science Vessel, then basically what Zero can do is just run all over the map with Dark Swarm. Which is why, after he got all those Scourge hits off, Zero was able to go for that big attack at the top left. But there wasn't any vessels to kill the Defilers, right?
Right.
And then he actually was able to delay the game enough so that his Ultras were already at 4-2, like with 4 armor. So not 5 armor, which is the best, but we're talking +2 melee attack as well. So those Ultras hit hard and they can defend well.
All right, XKCD, let's address something that was mentioned in the chat. And so, Jazz says, I think the mech switch was bad. If he just ramped up the pressure, he could have kept the Zerg on 2 bases basically forever. So let's discuss 2 parts here in this question. The mech switch was bad. So I feel personally like the reason why the mech switch obviously is good because you can deal with the late game hive pressure a lot better with the mech army, especially once you get those armor upgrades.
See, the problem with that is that it was fine because that was highest intention from the start.
Right.
When he built the engineering bay, he never built any upgrades in it. If he's going to keep pressuring with Bile, we would have seen Bile upgrades. Because those Marines, Medic were always going to be 0-0 the entire time.
Yeah, so that put them in an extremely weak position, bio-wise. And then he could have kept the Zerg on 2 bases basically forever. Well, Dark Swarm was researched at this point. So it was basically rendering the Marines useless. Like you mentioned, they were low on upgrades, but then they also couldn't engage into those sunken colonies, and the Lurkers were out too. So the Lurkers could deal with Bio really easily. It's basically one swipe, insta kill on the Marines. So on those 2 bases, you know who's going to run out of resources quicker is the Terran, because he's heavily mining with those SCVs. And so if he's continuing to commit and dump all his minerals into the Marines, then he's not doing anything to advance himself in the game.
Right. And also another thing to note is that it's as a Terran player, sooner or later, your soft contain is going to die. It's going to lose anyways.
Right.
Because you're talking about the Dark Swarm. So if you lose those units right away and you still keep pressing Bile units, Zerg can just overrun you. But with the mech units, you basically play the tank wars. That you can use tanks and mine to control space, which is very important for the map like this, with narrow chokeways and the ridges. And Zero took a great advantage of that because he would always engage when Haya was out of position. Like when Haya was attacking, it never seemed like Haya was in actually a favorable position for his tanks or his mines. If you actually notice very carefully how Zero handled it.
So let me add one more thing that may not be immediately noticeable to someone watching the game, is all of the production facilities for Haya was inside of his main base. And if you have 6 or 7 barracks inside of your main base, or 7 factories inside of your main base, which production facility is going to be way more powerful? So if you want to look at it just by a map standpoint, you can be a lot more effective out of the surface area that you can build your buildings by having factories occupy your main instead of having barracks occupy your main. So it's really like he was maximizing the efficiency of the land he can build in by building factories there instead of barracks.
Right. But I mean, but the thing though is that if you're gonna go Marines only, like Bio, you need to have 2 starports because that way you can dump all your extra resources into vessels.
Right.
And I mean, this map is kind of bad. This map is really bad for Bio, anyways, because of those narrow bridges. Because you could just put 2 or 3 lurkers there, and it's just you can't push into those. So I mean, if you look at all the Casper games, every Terrans have done mech switches. You'll see it. Because this map favors the mech switch, anyways.
I was really surprised though that we didn't see a second starport and that it wasn't a starport heavy build. I feel like that would have played to the advantage of Haya, who usually has really fun and wins a lot of starport games.
Possibly, but
At least in the past, whenever I watched his Kespa games, I don't know how his style completely in the new in post Kespa era, but in a lot of his old Kespa games, he played starport games and did well with them.
But that's because he was normally matched up in Terran versus Terran, where his 2 starport play would be a great factor.
Right.
Because if you go 2 starports against Zergs and they see it, they can defend against it pretty well. Or at least the Zergs at the time were pretty good at defending against it. Like very rarely would you ever see someone with a 2 starport kill them outright. So then the question is it even worth the time going for it? Because they're going to have Hydras up, and then once they get Mutalisk with Overlord speed, your raids are going to lose due to the Mutalisk bounce attack. I mean, and even then, even if you consider all this theory crafting, the fact that Hyatt shows 14 CC indicated that he wanted to go late game. So that was Hyatt's plan in the end.
Right, it definitely wouldn't match in with the game plan to go for that style of build for sure.
Yeah, well, sure, you're right that Hyatt always SK Terran, but this is not the map for SK Terran. Like, Fighting Spirit is the better map for SK Terran because everywhere you're going to fight on the map is on the flat ground, and it's pretty open. So you can maneuver around the lurkers or the defilers, whatever. But this map, you can't really do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. This map is much more difficult to navigate around. Everything's a smaller battlefield.
And that's where the mech kind of shines, because if you put tanks in a confined area and then protect it with vultures or mines, it's really hard to get into those tanks. Or and vice versa for Zerg, it's very kind of hard to get into the Zerg space, because Zerg can just Dark Swarm or put Sunkens all over and just, like, physically block you out.
Right. Well, that was an awesome game, and I'm sure we're going to see the highlights of that one in the future, as we were just watching highlights for some of the other games. And I'm just going to take a quick break, guys, and I'm sure XKCD might. And thank you for listening. We'll be right back.
이번 승리로 한상봉은 8강 진출을 확정짓게 됐을 뿐만 아니라 버그가 프로토스를 상대로 모두 승리를 거두며 이번 스타드 리그의 2세 징크스로 남게 되었습니다. 두 번째로 진행된 기조 경기에서는 박준호와 임홍규의 저그가 각각 7시, 11시에서 시작했고요. 임홍규가 패할 경우 탈락을 확정짓게 돼 더욱 관심을 모았습니다. 두 선수는 초반 모두 한 번의 정찰을 완료하며 좋은 시작을 보여줬는데요. 경기 후반 뮤탈리스크로 빈집 처리를 시도한 임홍규가 오히려 박준호의 뮤탈리스크에 밀리며 결국 탈락을 확정짓게 되었습니다. C조의 경기는 조일장과 김명훈 선수의 저그가 각각 1시, 7시에서 시작했고요. 이번 경기 승리자는 8강 진출이 유력해지기 때문에 두 선수 모두 치열한 접전을 펼쳤습니다. 하지만 김명훈이 깜짝 놀랄만한 뮤탈 컨트롤을 선보이며 결국 승리를 따냈습니다. 마지막 2조 경기에서는 윤찬규와 이진훈이 각각 테란으로 7시
Welcome to Brood War, everybody. What a good day for StarCraft so far.
Yeah, it was a good game. We still got one more game to go. The
Oh
TBT.
yeah. And C
I-
versus Mong, I feel like this is gonna be an awesome game.
I really want to see a late game TBT.
Mhm.
Every TBT we've been casted has always been under 5 minutes. It always felt lackluster, right?
Right. But we demand a good TVT.
The viewers demand it. Come on.
Yes. Otherwise, you're killing esports TVTs.
Like you give us a spectacular TVZ, and then you're gonna leave with a mediocre TVT. That's not a good way to end a night.
Right. So while we're on a break, let's talk about some drama in the esports world right now. As always, I like to talk about